Earlier on Wellness, Beauty and Lifestyle, we did have a look of how to keep it together as a leader, a person in a leadership position. However, the series does continue, and today we are looking at how to keep it together as an individual. Now, I am not expert. I will give you my normal basic knowledge. However, joining me today at the center of this discussion is none other than Miss Owembabazi Judith. And not only is she the founder and CEO of Goldbird International, but also I think it is also safe to say that she can actually be your life coach. I personally have decided to take her on as my mentor
Yeah, I'm
because
very
every
humbled.
time I speak to her, she's just speaking and fronting words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Madam Judith, for joining us this morning again on Sunrise at Sea.
Thank you for that humbling introduction, Shivan.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to have these conversations.
Absolutely. So today we are looking at how to keep it together when everything seems to be falling apart, but on individual basis. But before we dive right into that, I would like to ask, would you say, and this one I would probably bring it out even from my personal experience, would you say that the major reason why we feel as individuals that things seem to be falling apart is because we have measured our expectations, or we have written our life script, or we feel we have not achieved so much depending on what someone else has achieved? Could that be among the reasons?
Absolutely, Shivan. One of the many, peer pressure. One of the many, materialism. One of the many, too much TV time. But before we get to that, I wanted to remind our viewers out here that when we talk about keeping it together,
Yes.
we are basically talking about how to turn your pain into progress, how not to fall apart, how to turn your mess, what you view as your mess, when you sit with your friend and you're crying and you say, my boyfriend is gone, my husband is gone, my wife is gone, my job is gone, thugs broke into our home last night, and everything doesn't seem to add up. How do you keep hopeful amidst the wilderness? For those who are Christians and read the Bible, there's a lot that is talked about being in the wilderness. The Israelites were there for how many years? 40 years. It is possible for things to be falling apart and you're confused and you're lost and you're in your wilderness and you're thinking, what do I do? How do I move to the next part? Actually, there is a book that we read in high school. I don't know if it is still on the syllabus. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Yeah, so things do fall apart. It's for starters. There's another quote in the book Betrayal in the City that when the madness of an entire nation disturbs a solitary mind, it's not enough to say that the man is mad. We have seen people that I don't want to quote this morning do things that we say, oh, she's so vulgar, oh, she's undressing, oh, things are falling apart. Because people are throwing their lust to a certain situation to see how they can salvage it. Sometimes people are carrying so much, like you have said. But hey, there is hope. Why is there hope? Because God gave us the capacity to make choices. God gave us willpower.
To make a choice.
Yeah, that's why when you can convince a child and say, please don't cry, and they stop. It means you have capacity to stop the tears or to let them flow. They say.
So then my question then would be, what are some of the steps that we can actually take as individuals when we feel that everything is falling apart?
Amazing question, Siobhan. Now, for the business we talked about earlier,
Yes.
we did discuss the VUCA plan. Have a VUCA plan, implement it, change it, move on with it if you're a leader. At a personal level, you need to have something else that is close to that. When I was growing up, I was raised by a single mother, but then in the process I got so many fathers. So there's this brother that was one of my fathers. And he taught me something when I was in S2. He's the one who exposed me to so many things. My world was falling apart. Why? My mother had me late in life. She was 40. So when I was hitting my adolescence, she was hitting her menopause. You don't want to know the mix of the hormones.
Yes.
We were constantly at each other's throats. And for a child my age, my world was falling apart. And so he taught me something. He said, you must learn to let go. You must learn to let in. You must learn to let grow. And you must learn to let be. Of all the things that he taught me, this has worked for me throughout my life. That hey, okubonabona ko siki si enkomerero. When we say let go, what does that mean? Let me first use a contradictory example. Boats float on what? On water. And they sink where?
In water.
Yes.
Surprising.
So when you let the water get into your boat, you know it will sink. You know it will
Definitely.
sink. So as part of learning to let go, you must be able to understand, what do I do that symbolizes letting go? There is a prayer that my mother taught me a lot of prayers growing up, having been a nun in her past life. There's a serenity prayer. Most of us know it. Lord, teach me to know the things that I can change. Teach me to know the things that I can accept. I'm not saying it verbatim, because people cram things. Teach me to know the things that I can't change so I can accept them, so I can let go.
Interesting. That phrase is actually in a song. It's called Sweet Jesus. Sweet, teach me to do the things I don't say. And it says one day at a time.
One day at a time, indeed. And it's because it's a serenity prayer. What does serenity mean? Serenity means being peaceful. It doesn't mean that there's no storm. No.
What would be your last remarks or your takeaway key points that you'd like to say?
Okay, very quickly, let in. When you let in, it means you learn and relearn. Don't die on something and you say it must go the way you want it to go. If it has jammed, if a relationship has jammed, if someone doesn't love you, hello, let them go. There are how many billion people on this planet? Let grow. How do you grow? You must be able to pause, you must be able to reset, and you must be able to raise again. There are books on this. My mentor, Dr. Patricia Morigami, has a beautiful book on pause, another one on raise. I have another young man that we do a mentorship program together. He has a book called Unlearn That Habit. Buy these books, give them to your children, read them yourself. And then let be is very important. What's your purpose? When you chase all these things, you want a beamer, you want this, you want a house, when you arrive and you find that it's empty, what's your fallback? What do you do to give back to society? Last but not least, please, when you have, with those of you who drive, you don't wait. Refill, find time, go away. Go away and rest and refill mentally. Check in for your mental health.
Yes.
They say we are all mad, the degrees vary. Don't wait for yours to be too high.
That's true.
Okay? Refill, refill, refill. Don't wait for your battery to run out. No one wants their phone to run flat. So if you can do that for your phone, do it for yourself. In short, do not allow things to fall apart. So for me, my parting shots is that you're not the only one. There are many things that are happening. Don't sit in your own self-pity. Laugh at yourself sometimes for the silly things you've done. Go away on a retreat. Refill. But above all, keep hope alive. Keep on keeping on. Like the John Walker says, keep working.
And just like that, we have wrapped up the conversation. Thank you so much, Madam Judith, for allowing to be part of us this morning.
My pleasure.
The life script is totally
Different. Absolutely.
from everyone's script. And the rate at which we achieve things is totally different.
And it's not a competition.
Absolutely.
It's a freeway. Feel free to overtake. Feel free to take it easy.
Absolutely. Well, that winds up the conversation that we had for you this morning on wellness, beauty, and lifestyle. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea and don't blink.